Here.
Commissioner Brumfield?
Here.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Here.
Commissioner Williams?
Here.
Thank you.
Could we please stand for the invocation and pledge?
Lord, we ask your guidance today as we consider matters that will affect the safety and welfare of many people in our county. Help us to listen with open minds to matters that are important before us and to act on the matters that will benefit those who reside in our area. Keep our minds open and alert, our hearts compassionate, and our comments charitable. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Zoning Commission of Palm Beach County has convened at 9 a.m. in the Vista Center, Ken Rogers Hearing Room, VC 1W47, 2300 North Jog Road, West Palm Beach, Florida, to consider proposed applications and staff recommendations pursuant to the Palm Beach County Unified Land Development Code. The Commission takes final action regarding Class B conditional uses, subdivision variances, and Type 2 variances, and issues advisory recommendations on other requests. The Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County will conduct a public hearing at 301 North Olive Avenue, West Palm Beach, Florida, in the Jane M. Thompson Memorial Chambers, 6th floor, at 9:30 a.m. on applications not subject to Zoning Commission final action. Zoning hearings are quasi-judicial in nature and must be conducted to afford all parties due process. The Board of County Commissioners has adopted procedures for conduct of quasi-judicial hearings to govern the conduct of such proceedings. The procedures include the following. Any communication with commissioners which occurs outside the public hearing must be fully disclosed at the hearing. Applicants and persons attending the hearing may question commissioners regarding their disclosures. Such questions shall be limited solely to the disclosures made at the hearing or the written communication made a part of the record at the hearing. Any person representing a group or organization must provide documentation the person representing the group has the actual authority to do so regarding the matter before the commission. Any person who wishes to speak at the hearing will be sworn in and may be subject to cross-examination. The applicant and county staff may cross-examine witnesses. Any other persons attending the hearing may submit cross-examination questions, including follow-up questions to the chair who will conduct the examination. The scope of cross-examination is limited to the facts alleged by the witness in relation to the application. Public comment is encouraged, and all relevant information should be presented to the Commission in order that a fair and appropriate decision can be made. We have proof of publication. Can I have a motion?
Motion to receive and file.
Do I have a second? Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Vinokur, and I have a second by, I'm going to say, Commissioner Kern. I think it might have been equal. Can I get a swearing in by the county attorney, please?
All those wishing to testify or speak on today's items, please rise and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do. Thank you.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Kern, seconded by Commissioner Vinokur. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Amendments to the agenda.
Yes, we have amendment to the agenda. The amendments are item number 4. We're deleting the word Board of County Commissioners from the compliance condition. Also, from item number 3, the applicant requested yesterday some modifications to some conditions of approval that we look at it as some cleanup. Staff is going to be working with the applicant between now and BCC on those conditions.
Okay.
Also, under the comments for the zoning director, we have some service awards to Commissioner John Kern and Alexander Brumfield.
Okay. Do we want to do those now, or do we do those later?
Those are at the end under zoning director comments.
All right, thank you. And any adds or deletes beyond what that was yours? And then do we
that
have?
was the only delete.
Okay. And do we have any requests to pull items from consent?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to pull item 4 from the consent agenda to the regular agenda so that we can hear about it.
Okay. I have a motion from Commissioner Kern. Do I have a second? Second. I have a second from Commissioner Kelly. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Motion passes. Do we have any disclosures for quasi-judicial items? I'm going to start at this end, Commissioner Williams.
Yes, I had a conversation with Jennifer Morton about the Flamingo subdivision.
Okay.
No disclosures.
No. Mr. Kellyanne, Commissioner, nothing?
I had a conversation, phone call with members of the general public on item number 4, Flamingo Terrace.
Okay. Commissioner Brumfield?
No disclosures.
Yes, item 2, Don Herring. Item 3, according to the agenda, Ken Tuma, Sandra McGrew. And on item 4, Rob Cagel, Jennifer Morton, Janine Duchard, and Summer Stevens.
Okay, thank you. No, nothing, okay. And any recusals?
None.
Okay, all right. And I'm sorry, I did speak to a resident in the item number 4 at the Flamingo Park. Do we have any postponements?
No postponements.
No remands or
No
withdrawals?
remands or withdrawals.
Okay, all right. So with that, we are going to go on to the consent agenda items.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda with items 1, 2, and 3? We will be removing item 4 to the regular agenda.
I'll motion to approve.
Okay. So I have a motion by Commissioner Vinacore. I have a second by Commissioner Caliendo. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. We're going to move on then to the item pulled, item number 4. We're going to go to the regular agenda. Do we have, we do have a comment card, but would we like staff to give us a presentation?
Well, if the applicant is present, if the applicant would start with the presentation, and then we can move to the staff presentation by Scott Cantor.
Good morning, Jeannie with Kotler and Hearing. Today we are representing Flamingo Subdivision. So just some history on our project and our project team. The owner is Gregory D. Lang. The surveying agent is Wallace Surveying. Our civil engineer is Civil Design. Our traffic engineer is Kimberly Horn. And landscape architects and planners is Kotler and Hearing. So for just some reference, this site is located on Flamingo Terrace and is on the Intercoastal Waterway. This is about a 2-acre property currently. So some history on this property. This had a house on it last year, and unfortunately the house did burn down. And in discussions of rebuilding the home, the owner decided that he didn't need a full 2-acre lot and that the house would only call for a 1 acre. So that's where the proposed subdivision came in. And in going through that analysis, we determined with Wallace Surveying that it didn't meet the right-of-way requirements to further subdivide. Again, so 2-acre property has an LR2 land use, so it allows up to 2 units to the acre. So this property would actually be allowed up to 4 units per the 2-acre property, and has an RS zoning district. No land use changes, no zoning changes are proposed at this time. We do meet the 7 standards of the criteria for the variance for the subject site. So there's nothing that's preventing it, and staff is in support of the application. This is a standalone subdivision variance, and it's to allow a 20-foot right-of-way versus the 40-foot right-of-way and 18 pavement width. The required is a 40-foot right-of-way with 20 pavement width, so we're only actually 2 feet short of the pavement width requirements. And then it requires a sidewalk on one side and gutters on both sides of the right-of-way. So that's where that discrepancy is coming from. And this goes more into further detail into that, and then showing that what's required versus what is proposed and what the variance is. Like I said, the pavement width variance is only that 2 feet, and then the sidewalk and the gutters on both sides of the right-of-way. It meets all the property regulations, including size, frontage, and width and depth for the single-family home unit. So there's no other variances seeked. It exceeds the frontage. The frontage is required to have 65 feet of frontage, and we're actually have 75 feet of frontage. And it is actually one of the larger lots, even with subdividing the property. We are still a lot larger. Most of the homes are about on a half an acre, and we are still going to be on 1 acre for each property. This request is consistent with the comprehensive plan, it's consistent with the ULDC, and it's compatible with the surrounding uses and neighborhood character of development. On behalf of our team, we are happy to answer any questions. Thank you so much for your time and consideration today.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I'm Scott Cantor. I'm the Director of Land Development. This item, SV 2024-1281, subdivision variance for Flamingo. I'm presenting on that for staff. And thank Jeannie for doing a pretty thorough, good presentation on there. So a lot of this is going to be repetitive, so I may go through it pretty quickly. But yeah, the site is located on the east side of Flamingo Terrace, which is east of Prosperity Farms Road, south of Donald Ross, and north of PGA. So it's in that area. The site is currently vacant. So about the roadway itself, the county obtained a deed back in 1948 for 25 feet. And over the years, I'm going to go back. So back in the 80s, the county went and improved Flamingo Road and Windsor Road, through one of our local roadway projects, leaving Flamingo Terrace as a shell rock road. And then back in the 90s, we went in and reconstructed Flamingo Terrace using the existing 25 feet of right-of-way. And, based on our engineering design, it met all of our Green Book criteria, which are not, which RULDC Article 11 criteria exceeds the minimum requirements for roadway design. So to utilize the existing 25 feet, we came up with the 18 feet mono-pitched to the east with a curb on one side. And so that eliminates the requirements for swale to reduce the overall amount of right-of-way. And then there's no sidewalk. So, this is a county-maintained road. It has been since 1948. So for the site itself, 1.98 acres, residential zoning, LR2, none of that's changing with this. The property owner is seeking the variance in order to subdivide into 2 lots. And like I said, utilizing the existing land use and zoning. Here's the table from Article 11E2A2. When subdividing a lot, each lot has to have access in accordance with this table. So based on the number of trips looking at this road, under 800 and more than 40, that was what would be required. The 40 feet of roadway tract, 20 feet of pavement, and a sidewalk on one side. So, yeah, the variance request is to allow access from the existing road. So, in lieu of, obtaining right-of-way, reconstructing the road to meet that table, this is the request. So it's really to keep the road as is and operating as it currently does. We found that the applicant, this property did meet the 7 criteria outlined in Article 2, and we added a couple conditions of approval. One, prior to actually getting building permits for the units, they would have to come in and replat or probably do a plat waiver. We say configure the property into legal lots of record in accordance with Article 11. And then they would also have to construct sewer to the property to each lot. So at the time of publication, we had 1 contact from the public, but we've had 2 in total. One was opposed, concerned about the subdivision changing the characteristics of the neighborhood. And then the other one was, they asked a lot of questions and they felt this would be good for property values, but they didn't say one way or the other. They're more interested in asking questions about the property. So staff recommends approval, subject to those conditions of approval. So here to answer any questions that you may have.
Okay, thank you. Did we want to?
Madam Chair, we have one member of the public who wishes to speak, Dean Rosenbach. I hope I pronounced that right. If you'd like to step to the podium.
Good morning. These things don't work very well out there. so I'll try and speak up. I'm a lawyer in North Palm Beach. I'm representing a whole bunch of homeowners, everybody who I'm with, stand up for a second so they see you're here, okay, who all oppose the transformation of this neighborhood, which is what this will do. I understand I got 3 minutes. I've never done this before the Zoning Commission, so if you all bear with me, I should be able to do it because I speak pretty quickly. But this developer, and I'm going to call him a developer, who bought this lot knew that it was zoned for one house. They want to change, this individual wants to change the character of the neighborhood. This is just going to be the first block of conversion of a beautiful old Florida neighborhood. And I have for you, if I can, Stacy, I don't know how to do this, but if we can get these delivered to, how do I hand these up to somebody? Can you give these to the commissioners?
Would you like to accept the items for the record?
Madam Chair, can I make a motion to receive and file for the record?
Second. Motion made by Commissioner Kern, seconded by Commissioner Caliendo. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. And in this package, you will see the names of the people whom I represent, and you'll see pictures of the street. You saw narrow pictures in the presentation before. This is a very dark, old Florida neighborhood. The people like to walk around at night. It's dangerous as more traffic comes, and the main concerns that we have is that this is the first block that's going to get converted. When the purchaser purchased this lot on the Intracoastal for a lot of money, he knew what he was buying. He was buying a single-family residence. Now he wants to convert it. He knew he was entitled to build one home. There are no sidewalks, few street lights, no gutter on one side of the road. This is not a special circumstance for this lot owner. The variance will give the developer special privileges to divide the lot and access a substandard road, which will create more burdens on the road. In fact, one of my clients tells me today they started dropping sand, and all of a sudden he's going to have two headlights from two driveways shining into his home. It's going to be quite a burden for the people who are living there. There are no special circumstances or conditions that exist that should enable this developer to do what he wants to do. There's nothing special about this lot. It is bigger than some, but it's a very narrow street. The people have lived there, as you can see from the schedule that I've submitted to you for quite a while. They like their little community. They don't want special privileges being bestowed upon anyone else. And that's what this will do. All of a sudden, you're going to have people next door to you. A house on 1.9 acres is a nice-sized house. But all of a sudden, when you start moving them towards the adjacent lots, it starts to get crowded. This is not a homeowners association. This is not a development where normally people come. This is detrimental to the public welfare of the people who are living there. The only one who will benefit from this is the lot owner, who can then split the lot and build two homes there. It's true that it's 1.9 acres, but that's what he bought. The character of this neighborhood existed since 1990. It's a pocket in Florida where people save their oak trees. There are no HOAs. People can keep boats in their driveway. This is really old Palm Beach County, and this is going to destroy this area. If you have two trucks on this road, and this morning I'm told that's what happened, as the dump truck's coming in and there's a garbage truck, nobody can pass this road, and it's just going to create more burden on the existing homeowners who like to go out at night, they walk their dogs, and it just creates more danger for everybody. It's my client's request that you not approve this, strong request that you not approve this, and that the developer can build his one house here. He paid, and I don't know, $6.9 million maybe for this lot. That's great. Let him put a $25 million house on the lot, or $20 million. That's great. Everybody would love to have him, and they can have coffee with him. But to permit him to split the lot, create double utilization, and all that's going to be, somebody else is going to come in here in a year or in 6 months and say, I have the lot next door, you permitted the division of this lot. And now these people are going to lose their community that they like. And really, you're the protector of their community. So we respectfully request that you not grant this petition. Thank you.
Thank you.
Through the chair, I have a question.
Please.
Sir, I have a question. In your packet that I was able to peruse while you were presenting, you make mention of the pavement and traffic. Did you or your clients conduct a traffic study consistent with the standards that we look at?
As I understand, there have been no traffic studies.
No. Did you or your
No.
client? Okay. Thank you, sir.
Do I have comments from the commission?
Well, I'll comment. Wow, this looks like a crawls.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
This looks like a crawls, a constricted roadway at lower level of service. It is constrained, and I can see and I can understand your point, and I see the zoning district is single family, one per residential single family, but I understand the underlying land use is 2 units per acre. But it does appear that this is a very special and unique situation. So I can't vote to approve this. That's my comment.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Okay. All right. Anyone else have any comments?
Through the chair. Ma'am, one of my colleagues mentioned it was 2 units per acre, but I understand in the presentation that it is potentially authorized for 4 units for that size property. Is that accurate?
Well, yeah, the mics are quiet today. So there's the future land use designation, and then there's also the zoning district and what could fit on the property. 4 units an acre would be 4 single-family lots. I don't know that they could meet subdivision regulations because they wouldn't have the frontage, because if the agent just stated that the frontage would be 75 feet per each lot, they wouldn't be able to physically fit more. And this is the difference between the future land use designation, that's big picture, and the actual mechanics of the property. So theoretically, it can't meet any more than 2 units on this property because of the width.
Thank you, ma'am.
I just wanted to make sure the applicant had an opportunity to
respond.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
I'm going to sit down then.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for your time, everybody.
Hi, yes, we would like to respond. We did have a traffic study performed on this, and it is only generating 1 in and 1 out daily additional traffic trips. And like we said, it exceeds the frontage currently. We are only proposing 2. We're not looking for any further variances. And we're just asking for the same opportunity, because I'm sure these properties at one point were bigger and larger, and they were able to subdivide at an earlier time a lot of these lots. We are proposing 1 acre lots. We're not proposing, half-acre lots. A lot of these people are on half-acre lots and barely meet the frontage currently today. So that's what we're just looking to do. We were never contacted by any of the residents up until today. They never made any attempts to contact us, and this is the first that we're hearing about their concerns. We believe in this project, and we are not looking to put townhomes on this property. We're keeping the character of the community with the single-family homes. Right south of our property, there is 2 lots on a 1 acre lot currently. Actually, Jay Morton lives there and has less frontage than we do. Now she actually had to go in for a subdivision variance a couple years ago because she didn't meet the frontage of that, and none of the owners had an issue with that, and that was a subdivided property as well. So this is similar to what we're doing. People are looking to subdivide homes currently, and that is the character, because some of these lots were a lot larger when they were developed, and I would not be surprised if the residents out here today were, before they actually moved there, they were also subdivided and had the same opportunity as our current owners looking to do. And we meet all the requirements in Article 2.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I make one clarification?
Go ahead, Mr. Scott.
Ms. Ducharme mentioned that another adjacent property came in before this board for a subdivision variance. I don't believe that to be the case.
Right.
I just wanted to clarify that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
I have a couple of questions for the applicant. If you can come back up to the podium, please. Do you have printouts or information about the properties that you're saying that have been subdivided in the past? Do you have any?
We didn't bring anything today because we didn't know of these concerns
Okay.
up until this moment.
All right, and what lots are you saying are half acres that you're comparing yours to? You're not comparing an on-water property to an off-water lot, are you?
It's
those
just
are the
in
only
that
lots that I see
general
as-
subdivision.
Right, so you're saying that many of the lots that are half acres that you're comparing to, but those aren't on the water, those are all off-water. It's not the same kind of comparison by far.
That's divided up front.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Access point to get there.
Yeah, so just south of us, which is a water property, has a 10-foot frontage. That was the variance that we were talking about. To the south, the J. Morton property, that went in a couple years ago because it had a 10-foot frontage, so it had to go in for a subdivision variance to meet the frontage requirements, or a variance, I'm sorry. I might be calling it a subdivision variance, but a variance to meet the frontage requirements.
Scott, you sound like,
Well, from my recollection, those lots to the south were actually legal lots of record and existed since prior to the inception of the subdivision ordinance. So they were vested for what they currently had. So I can't speak if there was some separate zoning variance associated with it. That may be the case, but there wasn't a subdivision variance. They weren't subdividing. It was existing. And I do want to add, there was on Flamingo Terrace back in 2004 a plat waiver waterfront that was approved. I couldn't find in the records whether a variance was obtained at that time, but I do know there was a subdivision on this road that was waterfront.
okay. Thank you. I'm sorry, did you have some more to add, ma'am?
No.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
No.
Yep.
Yeah, I have a question of the applicant.
Oh, okay.
I have a question. You said the traffic study, one in and one out. Could you explain what that means?
Yeah, so it's the proposed traffic strip, so we're adding a single-family home, so they're not, is the traffic trip, so we don't have a traffic engineer here, so this is just from my understanding as a planning standpoint, that we would, it's only proposing additional as far as trips that currently access that roadway, would only be adding one more traffic trip in and one more traffic trip out. So that's only the further congestion that's going to be added. So it's only total 2 trips a day that's actually going to be adding to that roadway at this point.
When I see the landscaping that's needed here and all the other services, I guess there's going to be a lot more traffic than just one in and out a day. But my question is about the subdivision variance that you're talking about. So it wasn't in front of the zoning commission, so what was that? Did a judge do that, or?
No, that was in front of the zoning commission, the previous one. It would have gone through.
Nope, didn't. It was an administrative staff approved
Oh, okay,
variance.
sorry, all right, I apologize. It was then a type 1 variance that only goes to staff.
Okay, thank you.
Any further comments?
Can I make one other statement?
Yes, please. Yep, that's fine.
On the Jane Morton property, as I understand it, that had been owned by a judge before Jennifer, I said Jane, I'm embarrassed, before Jennifer had purchased the property. And I understand, although I don't know personally, that came about as a result of a circuit court decision where the judge had divided the property. That's what it was. What my clients wanted me to tell you is there's never just one item, because they have Ubers coming through, they have FedExes coming through, they have UPSs coming through. So the burden on this tiny, tiny road, when you see the picture of it, it's just a big burden for these people. They don't want to live in a city. This is a beautiful, beautiful community which will be destroyed so one man can make $5 million or $10 million. Just thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Can I make one more clarification? I'm
Yes,
sorry.
Scott, go ahead.
We've been talking about traffic here, and they had mentioned addition of daily trips. Well, single-family residential generates 10 daily trips per day. So really, but when you look at a peak hour, an AM peak is 0.7 trips per day per unit, and a PM is 0.94 trips per day per unit. So really, it is increasing the PM peak by 1 trip per day over an existing 1-unit property. So it'll be 10 additional daily trips and 1 additional PM peak per the traffic study. But that's what we go by, is what's in the traffic study. So when she says 1 daily, it technically is, but it's peak hour, but it's 9 or 10 more daily trips. If that makes sense.
Yes, thank you. I was just going to say, I drove the property when I'm questioning something this morning, and there was some gunite trucks, and it's a tight street. It's tight, and I had to wait for the gentleman to wave me on. But and I guess my concern is, I understand that we're just asking for one thing, but changing the character of the neighborhood is a concern of mine. And I know I live in a nice area, and I would certainly, I guess my thought is, does this set a precedence? I don't want to see, if we are to agree on this, and then what happens down the road. It's just, no one can answer that. That's just my thought in my head, so.
The question I had, are there any other lots that this application could be applied to in the future over there? I did not write it, by the way.
This application is only for this specific
No,
lot.
but are there other parcels over there that equal size they could come in, or they've all been subdivided already, and pretty much this is the end?
Correct. So the lot to the north of this, just by acreage size, I don't know if it would meet the PDRs. I think it would. I think it has 150 feet of frontage as well.
Oh,
so
okay.
Technically, someone could. I'm just measuring here real quick. Yeah, so it looks like it's about the same exact size. So potentially someone could purchase that property to the north, knock it down, come back before this board with a separate application, or with a separate request. And
How many total lots are there, Scott, over there?
There's 11.
Approximately.
11?
There's 11.
Well, on the waterfront.
Saying there could be 4.
Oh.
This one,
1, 2, 3.
Oh, yeah, I can see the footage here after looking at this map. You're right.
And if I may,
Probably 4 of them.
if I may, about the variance that was approved. So this is the challenge that's before this board and staff when there's variances. It's a subdivision variance before you today. The property to the south that was mentioned did receive an administrative variance by the zoning division, and that's because that lot was a legal lot of record, so it didn't need a subdivision variance. However, because of the small size of the lot, it couldn't meet the 65-foot minimum lot frontage, or the 25-foot setback. So we approved an administrative variance for a 14-foot lot frontage because it's accessed by a driveway, and a smaller setback of 21 feet. So theoretically, only maybe one parcel, maybe one other parcel on this strip might meet the 65-foot frontage requirement, but any of the other properties, if given a subdivision variance, could then apply for a variance administratively and say our lot's too small, and that's the challenge with administrative variances versus zoning variances, because right now you're looking at the right-of-way and the capacity and the consistency of those standards for the subdivision variance. But if this is approved on this one and future ones, there's always the potential for future applications and future administrative variances as well. So I just wanted to point that out.
Okay, thank you. Do I have any more comments, questions from the, no. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion, if I may, to deny the subdivision variance request.
I second the motion.
Before you get too far, Madam Chair, if for denial, since staff is recommending approval, if we could have the motion maker identify the specific standards that she believes haven't been met, that there are competent substantial evidence on the record to support a finding that those specific standards haven't been met.
Okay, thank you.
I don't think she can.
There are no special conditions and circumstances that exist. I see no special circumstances. Is that good enough for that?
Sure, I'm just looking for the standards in the staff report, A, B, C, D.
The standards. There's no special conditions. It appears to I would say the actions of the applicant also has led to this request.
That makes sense.
It's just the applicant wants that, and it does not appear that there are special conditions and circumstances to support that. Is that legal enough?
I'm sorry.
It's not looking for, there's nothing specific legally that, we're looking for, just identifying them because there's nothing in the staff report that supports a finding of denial, so we just need there to be some kind of description.
The roadway is absolutely too constricted to support additional traffic. How about if the attorney provides some direction on that?
Excuse me?
Oh, how about if the attorney provides some direction on that for me?
Well, I mentioned there's specific criteria in the staff report, A, B, C, D, and you did, I think, already point to a couple of them, right?
Yeah.
A and B?
So is that, yes.
Whatever you believe is appropriate as a means of submitting your motion for denial.
Mm-hmm. So is what I stated okay? Or would you like me to expound on that?
No, I believe you.
Good, thank you.
So I'm sorry, can I just get clarity because I see items 1 and 2 up here. Is that what we're referring to, Commissioner Vinokur?
Yes,
special conditions
do not exist, and it appears that the applicant is just is asking for this, that the applicant has created the situation. The actions of the applicant.
Okay, so you're denying it based on it not meeting items 1 and 2, and then
A and B.
A and B. All right. And so then my other question is, with prejudice or without prejudice? I think we have to. Do we have to determine that, or no?
Sure. Yes. I believe maybe staff can help me with this. I think without prejudice means they can come back at any time. With prejudice, I believe.
A year.
Is it a year? That's something that's not substantially similar.
Okay.
Okay.
With prejudice.
So
with prejudice.
with prejudice. Okay. And yes, did you
I'll second the motion.
second the motion? Before I did that, I didn't know if you wanted to make one more comment.
I
applicant?
wanted to actually ask for a postponement. If we could do a postponement, I want to have a chance to meet with the residents because we just heard about this today. About this, we would like to meet with the residents and postpone it to next month.
Through the chair to the attorney, there's a motion and a second on the floor.
Sure, there can be a substitute motion if any of the commissioners so wish. Otherwise, you
I'd
have
make
to
a
discuss.
motion to allow them to come back next month. And if they think they postpone it, if they think there's some special circumstances, they'll be able to substantiate at that time.
So you're going to offer a
I'll amend my
substitute.
motion. I'll amend it if you'd like, or withdraw it. And just, I can withdraw the motion, and if they would like to postpone it and come back in 6 months, that would give them time that they say that they need to speak to the residents.
That's not my motion is let them come back next month. I don't know why we push them off out of just spite for next 6 months from now. That doesn't make any sense. Either I will correct the situation with the residents or
So
not.
there's a motion on the floor with a second. You're making a substitute motion.
Yes, correct.
Okay. And what's your substitute motion?
My substitute motion is to allow them to come back, postpone until next month, and let them come back, meet with the residents like we have done for many other people that have come before us.
Do we want to put a time frame or
Time frame of next month, that's it.
Yes, we agree to that.
Okay. I have a motion by Commissioner Caliendo. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Kern.
Can we come up with a specific date? Next zoning commission
Yeah,
meeting?
next zoning commission meeting.
February 6th,
February 6th. Okay.
Can I say
the next
something?
zoning commission
Absolutely.
meeting.
Before we
I'm
vote.
looking at the residents back there, and they're all shaking their head no. They don't want to have that meeting with them.
Yeah, but
So I think we're just wasting time.
that's their time to waste.
But they're the residents, and they don't want it.
My
Well,
motion
the
stands.
postponement motion would have to go for a vote, so if the commission doesn't support the postponement, you vote against the
Chair?
postponement.
Yes.
I'm going to not support this motion to delay. The residents have come out on their own time, and they've reported that some of them can't be here because they work. If the residents here are not willing to meet with the applicant, then we're just making more burden on them by requiring them to come February 6th.
Well, they can send they don't have to be here, they can call staff.
It's not the same impact.
Can we have discussion on the motion, like you're discussing it now, right, the motion? Can I say something then?
I believe so, and what I was going to say is I think, just if I could speak to you, we have done the postponement before just in an effort to make
Right.
everybody, so we've done this in the past, but I appreciate what you're saying about the residents. So I think if it's acceptable, we could have a discussion with the commission and come up with a final motion, perhaps?
Yeah, I agree with Ms. Kennedy that I'll vote against the postponement.
Okay. And so with that, do we vote on Commissioner Caliendo's and see where we go?
Sure,
or-
somebody could make another substitute, or you can vote on this, and then you would go back to the original motion and vote on Lori's motion. So you can vote on Commissioner Caliendo's substitute motion, and if, for example, it did not pass, then you would go back to Lori's original motion.
Okay, all right. So with that, I have a motion by Commissioner Caliendo to postpone for the applicant to come back in.
Do we have a second?
I was just going over, I'm sorry, is that
sorry.
okay? That's okay. And so to come back next month, do I have a second? All right, no second. Okay, so do I have a motion then?
Original motions.
Original
the way
motion
states
to
them.
deny approval based on not meeting items A and B. Is that correct? Oh,
I will second the postponement motion.
Okay.
So we can at least get a vote on the table on it.
Okay. So is that appropriate? Okay. So I have a motion by Commissioner Caliendo for a postponement. I have a second by Commissioner Williams. Do I have all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. All those opposed?
Nay.
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 Okay, so motion does not pass. So then I'm going back to the motion by Commissioner Vinacore. Do I need to restate that motion? The motion is yes or no?
Sure,
Okay.
I can restate it.
Okay.
The motion to deny the item based on failure to meet criteria A and B of the subdivision variance standards.
And
With prejudice?
With prejudice.
With prejudice. Commissioner Kern was the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
So
Motion.
just to clarify, for the first vote, Mr. Caliendo and
Commissioner Williams.
Commissioner Williams, the tags are switched there,
usually
voted
turn around.
in favor of the first motion. Everyone else voted against, and it was the vice versa for the second vote, correct? Because we didn't do a roll call. Okay, thank you.
Yep. Okay. All right. So,
If this is unusual, my clients thank the commission for their actions.
okay, thank you. I'm missing the rest of my thing. Where is it? Do I have any comments from county folks? No.
None from the county attorney? Planning director? And for zoning director, we have 2 plaques to award today for their service. Mr. John Kern and his service on this board since 2018, and Mr. Brumfield's service since 2006, 18 years. There we have. So both of you, we have plaques for you upon the conclusion of the meeting, unless you would like staff to bring them up now. And thank you very much. We've appreciated your professionalism and your expertise, and we hope to see you again with a future appointment down the road. Thank you very much.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, I have a motion by Commissioner Caliendo, second by Commissioner Kennedy, or Vinacore, I'm sorry. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion passes. Thank you very much.
Welcome to Know Your Flow with the Palm Beach County Water Utilities Department. Many companies today claim to sell flushable wipes. However, under closer scrutiny, these wipes prove to be more problem than solution. Baby wipes, adult wipes, and cleaning wipes are a growing cause of clogs that can form in wastewater pipes, including the pipes in your home, as well as the larger pipes that take wastewater to our treatment plants. You see, while packaging may say the wipes are flushable, they are not biodegradable like normal paper. Instead, once they enter the wastewater stream,